gyro proves Earth rotates underneath its fixed frame. Okay? Not attached. Hello? Not attached. You are wrong. Hello? Roundabout. And you launch a drone off it. You push the up stick. The roundabout's stationary. The drone will just go up and hover above the point on the roundabout that is stationary and not spinning. And it will just stay there, hovering, not moving, not deviating, not demonstrating Coriolis effect, if the roundabout is not spinning. Now you take the same roundabout and you spin it. You do the same thing. You hold your drone and you just push the up stick to make it hover. Now it hovers directly above the point that it left your hand, but you continue to rotate underneath, demonstrating an apparent deviation. That apparent deviation is where it looks like the drone's flying towards you and flying away from you. Now the drone's not actually moving, it's just hovering in its position in the air, the inertial reference frame. And you, on the non-inertial spinning reference frame, are rotating underneath, making it look like it's flying towards you, when in fact it's stationary. Now that looking like it's flying to you is the apparent deviation, Coriolis force. It's not actually flying, that's why it's apparent. Not really flying towards you, you're rotating underneath. Now if you take that example to a spinning ball Earth and you have a helicopter, if the Earth isn't spinning, then the helicopter can take off and hover above the ground that it took off from, because it's not spinning. Or, if the Earth was spinning, the helicopter would take off and the ground would rotate underneath. And all you'd need to do is hover, and the continents would come to you. So if you toss a ball up and down in a moving car, Johnny Globehead 10th man, does the ball return to your hand because they're travelling as one?
Yes.
Well, then there is no deviation.
That's proving my point. We're lockstep.
Well, then there's no Coriolis deviation. If the ball returns to your hand because they're travelling as one reference frame, it's not deviating away from your hand, seeming to curve, even though it's only going up and down. See, if you had a flatbed truck with an open bed and you sat in it with the same ball, when you throw the ball into the inertial reference frame and it leaves the frame of reference and is no longer being carried along with the car, then it seems like it flies away behind you if you're on a motorway. It isn't flying away behind you, it's just staying where it was when you threw it up in the air as you travel away from it. But it seems like it's curved away from you. Well, that curving is Coriolis. You saying that it's the same as a car travelling along and the ball returning to your hand is a claim that there isn't any deviation. So what we've got is we've got a tractor pulling along a dude who's
baby.
bouncing up and down on a trampoline. Now, I haven't got the full context from Simondan, but what my question would be is, given that there's claimed to be a Coriolis deviation to prove that Earth is rotating underneath, say, a gyroscope or a pendulum or a bullet, the idea is that you see a deviation to prove Earth spins. So my question would be, what precisely is the deviation that we are looking at here to compare it to the claim to be Coriolis proof that Earth's supposed to have, but we don't see? Is this an example of us not seeing deviation? Because Earth's supposed to have a Coriolis deviation, 15-degree turn an hour under the gyroscope. Well, this is a demonstration of a guy and the tractor not going underneath him. So I don't really understand what you're trying to prove here, Simondan. Is it that you trying to defy Coriolis deviation with this demonstration? Because Earth's supposed to have a deviation, and I assume this is a demonstration of a lack of deviation. So just explain to me, if you will, what you're trying to prove, Simondan.
I want to know how a not real deflection needs to be accounted for. There is no deflection. Why is everyone saying that planes need to account for a not real deflection? Can somebody please tell me that? Flat earthers, can you tell me that?
I
The
didn't hear the question.
Coriolis
Can you hear the question?
effect is an apparent deflection. It only apparently deflects by somebody looking at from the rotating non-inertial reference frame to the inertial reference frame. It is a not real deflection. I'm going to say this again. It is a not real deflection. How do you account for a not real deflection?
You don't. You don't.
Flat earthers.
You don't.
Oh, but see, it's confusing
You
because
don't know the
there is two
arguments.
movements.
You
There
don't
is
know
two
the
movements.
arguments, flat earthers. You're part
Come
of
on,
the
John.
problem.
Let me.
Come on, Chris, I'll keep the live show going.